Good
Hola, I'm on.
afternoon. Do your thing,
Hello.
Realist.
How you doing, brothers? Everyone okay?
Good afternoon, good morning, everybody. This is Arsenal Fan Circle, and with my co-host Gunded News, Season 2, Episode 6. We have the Arsenal Realist in the house.
Hello. Nice to be here, guys. Thanks for having me. And yeah, I suppose at least at one point I was dreading it. What was it? 1-0 down, 1-1, 2-1, 2-2, 3-2.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I didn't get to see it because it wasn't on the TV. But yeah, I think ultimately everyone lost today, did they? Tottenham lost.
Yeah.
Well, not today, but United lost today. Chelsea lost, and we've won. So ultimately, that's 6 points, technically. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
swing.
it's been a
6
good
point
day.
swing. So, Realist, we were doing our own thing over here on this channel for this season, and a subscriber asked me to get in contact with you. And you know, we've been talking for about a month now. So that subscriber said you should check out The Realist. So I started watching some of your stuff, as you know, and you know, I've subbed up to you as well. And you know, I like what you have to say. So on the basis of that, you're here, brother.
Yeah, much respect, bro. I appreciate it, man. Because like we said, we got to get all opinions out, and because at the end of the day, Arsenal's in I would say, in a very not strange position, but in a unique one at the moment, where there's a few angles, few perspectives, and not to say anyone's directly wrong, but we all know there's one real major problem. And after we say, let's not talk about that problem every match, but we have to at least be fair in our criticism on top of everything. So when it comes down to today, the biggest question so far, I may be wrong, but what I've heard is why is Xhaka playing? Ultimately, I think it's a very reactionary fan base, because what I was thinking, as someone who didn't get the luxury of watching the game today, apart from radio, Ainsley Maitland-Niles got a red card. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah.
So that no manager tells their right back to get a red card. But Chambers came on and made an instant impact. That's a real positive from Unai Emery.
Yeah.
So on top of it, we all knew that defending, we are going to get, our defence is going to let us down and expose us. So when Ainsley's gone off, I haven't seen how it's happened, but that's not Emery's fault. I can't blame him. So once again, the defence has let him down. He's made a change. Chambers has come on. Boy, I'm just saying, for Xhaka to still be the main topic today, he obviously wasn't playing good, but I just think we need to support the manager. Just not even support. Well, yeah, no, we do. People need to support more, because it's no good not believing when the manager clearly is a good manager. Clearly.
Let me ask you a question that's central to all this. Will Unai Emery learn from his mistakes?
Well, when we say it's a mistake, I suppose we're meaning, will he stop playing Xhaka maybe, and other stuff as well. But what I'll say is to that. So let's say Xhaka's not playing now. He's on a naughty step. You're not allowed to play. When we say, what do we replace it with? All right, let's say it's Ceballos, Torreira, Willock. Now, although all these players are good, what is one thing on Ceballos' mind going forward? We know that, although he's brilliant, but he's always going to take, if that space is in front of him, he would be not playing his correct game if you don't chew it up. Same as Willock. Willock, even more so, in fact, he charges forward. Guendouzi, good player, but he can also get caught forward. Torreira now, he is in theory meant to be that defensive midfielder, but honestly, I've noticed him a lot. I find him really far up a lot of the time. So, yeah.
Realist, funny thing is, you see Torreira a lot bombing these days, bombing right up the field. He's the furthest player forward, even further than our striker. And I mean, it's ridiculous. It leads to us conceding a lot of shots. Basically, I was telling Ray that we've become almost gift lab FC. Like, we're gifting the other team plenty of shots, getting put under our own pressure and cracking under a pressure. What does that cause? Us to concede a goal. We concede one goal, okay, drop. We go 2-0 down. We go 3-0 down. We're fighting an uphill battle. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, and it highlights another problem, which is that gap between midfield and our strike force. There's a gap, and we can't seem to tie it together. And that comes back to them transfer windows. And what I mean by that is, like, you have to have, like, we're Arsenal. For us to, Saka, Willock, and Guendouzi, our young player that we've bought for however much it was, like, they should be there. They're brilliant, and I love them. But how can they be given? They're basically almost our first choices now. It's not right. the bottom line is when you've got any successful team, whether it's the old Arsenal, the old Man U, when a young player goes into that team and he goes in, let's say a Guendouzi type or a Gary Neville when he went into United or anyone, there's about 8 people in front of them who can line up for the captaincy. Before them, there's so many in there. Not only, do you know what I mean? There's so many men. It's like there's no way you're even getting a go. So it's like, for us to have players now who are on the periphery of being, some people are saying they're our best midfielders and they're so young, it highlights a huge problem because right now, what's Unai Emery's best option? It is almost, he's not playing to his strengths in any game. All he's playing to do is defend himself. When I say defend himself, it's like, don't let the other team kill us. And if he doesn't think like that, if he thinks all out attacking, boy, we'll see a whole different scenario. I'm telling you now, because all out, it also means that along a whole season, you're going to get more injuries throughout. You can only play that style of football with a bigger squad because ultimately you're going to get caught out really properly. Can you imagine if we was going fully all-out explosion attack now? Aubameyang would be 20% more likely to pick up an injury as well. Do you know what I mean?
And we'd be conceding way too many goals. We'd be losing games against even the smaller sides. For example, like the Aston Villas and the West Hams. I mean, luckily today we did see Banter FC. We know who that is. Get beat. And Chelsea did get beat. And the shite got beat, most important. And we focused on ourselves and we managed to, by hook or crook, get 3 points. Which is, I mean, like you said, Realist, at 2-0 down, were you confident listening over the radio or 1-0 down, like that we're going to win this game? That we're going to come back? I was considering not even coming on tonight's episode. Same with today.
Well, we're here irrespective of what we have to do. But like I said, you prepare a show, Realist, and you don't know what the show is going to be about until the game's played, and then you got to give your analysis, right?
Well, the funny thing is if I now at the beginning of the season, the funny thing is I wouldn't say be a smart ass and say I predicted all of this because I haven't with details, but overall, broadly, my prediction is what we're going to concede loads of goals. Abba and Laka is going to. This is what I said in one of my videos. Abba and Laka is going to pull us out of the holes. One of them's going to get injured at one point. Then it's going to go hard and stale again. Then we're going to get our defense back. Then we're going to be all right again. And actually, right now, that's what's clear. That's what's happening. And when you look at Chelsea, a team not going through exactly the same stuff because they know money's coming, but they got a little short squad. United, different, but they're struggling. So Tottenham have lost, United have lost, Chelsea have lost. We have won. So in theory, today, in this hour, does that not mean that Arsenal and Unai Emery is better than United, Chelsea, and even if it's just for 10 minutes? So it's all good saying out. But now, right now, in this second, the maths and the science and the facts and that blackboard I spoke about in the staff room, where when a player goes in, he don't see YouTube. The stats are there. It says Xhaka, 512 tackles so far. Underneath it says Torreira, 210. So it don't even come nowhere near too close to being as competitive and bringing us. So when Unai Emery sends his army out, you say, all right, this guy might not be the most technical, best decision maker, but do you know what? He's giving them fucking midfielders something to think about. And I need that. And he's picking up reds at Tottenham in the box. And ultimately, that's tainted his whole performance now, because that's a mistake that, do you know what, even I will say, you can't do that in the box, man. And that has tainted it till now. And he needs to get the mistakes back. Like my thing about Xhaka, his best performance will be an anonymous one. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, where you don't notice his mistakes.
I don't want to hear nothing good. I don't want to hear nothing bad. Just lock it up at the back.
Like the best referees to go unnoticed. Realist.
Well, yeah, and that's one thing I will say. This is going to be my one criticism of Unai Emery now, and what I will say is I want to start seeing from him, even though the team's short, I think a point. But then again, you do have to weigh up the balance of, you can't just defend against Villa. Because if you're defending against Villa, then what are you actually really saying? You don't even want the points. But I do want him to start saying to Xhaka and Torreira, bruv, I don't want to see you going past this point. This point, like, I don't want them to have, because when I see Torreira on the edge of the other box or Xhaka, it's like, I'm almost thinking that, all right, we can blame the players, but there is the manager does at one point after the 5th, 6th game, you need to start saying to him, all right, when this happens, I need you here. But the funny thing is when you watch Liverpool, when they concede a goal, and it's always when there's a defensive mistake. So ultimately, these mistakes are coming from the best. So that's the whole point of football, is building that relationship, that key. And like, look at United. Would they be in this same state if they kept Lewis Van Gaal for the 5-6 years? I think they'll be doing all right now. But when you keep swapping, how can anyone learn anything?
But you see, that's the whole point where we say we are fully behind Emery. It's just some of the choices that he's making. His
Of
subs
course,
and
yeah.
become timed subs. Realist, 70th minute, 60th minute. You know there's going to be on the dot, on the second, a change, and it's often the
Yeah.
wrong change. And he often doesn't start off the game with his starting 11. Like for him not to know what his starting 11 is right now is a bit ridiculous with the personnel that he has. And like I wanted to say to you actually, have you noticed there's been a lot of errors leading to goals from multiple players who are not actually good enough for our team? You could say Shaka had a good performance today, which I mean, when he deserves praise, you give him praise. But a lot of the times, he's a Mustafi, a Luis, a Socrates, a Xhaka will make a mistake that causes us to drop our heads and lose the game by even one goal, which is it's crazy to think about, man. And then he still makes the wrong decisions in subs, takes off our creativity. I mean, we really should have beaten Tottenham, and we really should have beaten Watford clearly. And I mean, even Thursday night's game against Frankfurt, there were opportunities there. These players have it in them. It's just they need to unleash it, you know. And like you're
Yeah.
saying about Torreira, we need a strong captain, somebody like Lacazette to tell them, guys, don't move. Just sit here and we will make sure the goals come. Ceballos, Pepe, and our attacking force will make sure the goals come. But can you guys just calm down and sit in the midfield and just relax?
Well,
Control everything.
that's why I'm pretty convinced that Unai Emery is a man that it's not. I don't think he came to Arsenal and thought, all right, let me find a plan. Let me see how to do it. He has a plan and he knows what it is, and he knows that this team isn't capable of doing it, even if it's a 5-6 players off. But I honestly believe right now, because any manager that comes in now, whoever it is, look at Pep Guardiola, for instance. Vincent Company leaves. Laporte gets injured. Now, apart from the 8-0 win against Watford, but before that, it's like people were saying that maybe the whole title chase is in because of a few defenders. So if it can happen to him, at Arsenal now, any manager in charge, is that going to stop David Luiz, Mustafi, Socrates giving away mistakes? Unfortunately, it's not. So the bottom line is Unai Emery is battling, I think, with the conundrum, trying to play the football that he wants, but also playing football he don't want, which means trying to get us to the next stage to then play the football he wants, qualifying for Champions League, getting a little bit of money, making it to the next stage without getting the out thing. Because if that happens, he won't even get to touch the Unai. He won't even get to see Saliba. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, he needs funds, and then we can judge him properly. Because right now he is dealing with a team where we can all say play this, play that, but really, there's been matches when Xhaka didn't play, and then they'll call for Xhaka to play. Then there will be. It's just reactionary, because the bottom line is there's always something wrong and we want to fix it. But there's only one way to really fix it wrong, to really put a wrong team right. And Abramovich is going to show us exactly how to do that with Chelsea soon. He's going to show us how you go from Mount, Abraham, and all these Willian, all these players who ain't gelling, Giroud, give him 2 windows, yeah? He's going to show you exactly how you do it. Boom. He's going to get all the right players in, and if that don't work, he'll keep doing it. just the way it is. Because ultimately, Chelsea have a better owner than us. And that means something. It's the owner. If you've got a good owner, it's going to help you. It's not going to make you win, but it will definitely help you get a defence in, put it that way.
Totally agreed. Did you welcome Saka in the lineup, Realist?
Did Saka start?
Yeah, Saka started.
Yeah, I didn't say, I welcome it. Like I said, I haven't seen the highlights. That's why I was a little bit wary of doing this live. I would have, but I'm going to wait to do match of the day. But I would go by your judgment. But do you know what? There was a part of me that I gave kind of 2 lineups. You know, as it is, someone says to you, "What's your lineup?" and you just start freestyling it out. And then I said it again, and I said a different one. But my honest one, after thinking, I personally, but on hindsight now, maybe I'll change it. But I would have wanted to maybe put Saka on the bench till the second half, due to. I want to really get him gassed up. I want their defence to be a little bit more tired. I want him to really feel like he's the man. And that's what I'll be saying to him. When you come on, you kill it. Yeah? And I would have given him his set minute. I said, you're coming, unless something goes wrong, you're coming on at 65 or something like that. So he's fully prepared. But I honestly want to see Gabriel Martinelli. That's who I wanted to. I wanted him to start challenging Pepe. When Pepe starts playing, he got a goal, so brilliant. But if you're Pepe, I'm not saying he's playing bad, but I'm saying if you feel like, do you know what I mean? It's not called. I don't class it as dropping. I'd say spiking your position. I wanted to see Gabriel Martinelli have a little go, but also, yeah, Xhaka, Martinelli, they need to be in the squad for me, having little goes. But Xhaka especially, man, what he did. Just that goal, I don't want to overhype it, this and that. But at the end of the day, it's the mind process that I like. He's given it to him. My first thought was, give Pepe a 1-2. Do not shoot, because I'm a shookhead. I'm so scared. Do you know what I mean? But he's saying, nah, bruv, to the left, bottom corner, boom. And that's what you need, that little bit of clinical edge.
And you'll see in the highlights he had a couple of decent chances, but maybe playing away from home is better for him. He's not in front of the home crowd that's going to get on his back a little bit. You know, maybe away games in Europe are better for him.
The management control about coming on this minute, that minute, telling him beforehand. Because I think if you can build it into a young player's head that, bruv, away is home. It means nothing. Home, away. If you can build that into his head, football's football. I remember seeing a young Michael Owen do that, not for long, but when you put that into a young man's head, they become unstoppable. Literally. Because it can happen. I know dog can't learn new tricks, but a young man now, if you teach him not to give a fuck, listen, it's very rare. But Xhaka showed little me his mind.
He will give his blood, sweat, and tears for the badge.
Exactly.
It fucking means the world, right? It means the world.
Here, just tell us about the sending off. I saw the highlights, and for me, Realist, if you remember Torreira getting sent off in the North London derby at Wembley last season, it's a very similar challenge. He clears out the ball, he just follows through.
Look, maybe you can tell me more or our subscribers, because personally, if you ask me, I wasn't around at the time of the sending off. By the time I had gotten back to the TV, I was actually out shopping. And by the time I got back, we were 1-0 down, and somebody just messaged me to say, Ainsley Maitland.
That ended up.
He clears out, he goes to ground, he clears out the ball, Realist. He's a yard away from the player, and their momentum, they meet each other on clearing out the ball.
I can almost imagine, I don't want to comment before seeing it, but I'll say what you just described as I pictured it. Let me say, because I reckon, once again, is highlighted our defensive weaknesses. He's not a right back. At the end of the day, when Wan-Bissaka plays, he keeps that foot. He keeps that foot between him and the man running onto him. Same with Van Dijk. Same with even Alexander Trent. His defending isn't his best attribute. It's attacking. But when it does come to defending, they've got a little bit of savvy. So we're getting our right back's getting red carded yet again. If it's not a penalty, if it's not Socrates facing his back to Watford giving a pass away, that's unforgivable for me. And then we've got Mustafi making us completely scared to play him over his respective performances over this time. Now Ainsley Maitland-Niles, a young man playing out of position, has got a red card. Once again, I have to ask the question and say, what's it going to take for this owner to invest? Is it going to take, we're going to have Lacazette at right back. When we've got Lacazette playing right back, will he then invest? Do you know what I mean? Because what does it take? Do you know what? Imagine this now. The last year and a half, Ainsley Maitland-Niles had been playing defensive midfield alongside with Torreira, learning his trade. We could have a 60 million player on our hand. But instead, we're wasting the whole young man's energy and opportunity. It's not fair.
Yeah, it's not fair to Ainsley Maitland-Niles because he's been known as a wing back or right back, and ostensibly he's a midfielder. And he should be playing his trade there.
The prodigy of Arsenal, he's been paired up with Mustafi, Socrates, and Luis. These are the people that when he wakes up in the morning, he's going to put his defensive duty. I don't think it's fair. So, I don't blame Ainsley. I don't blame Unla. I respect them for having to do what they've got to do. But what I do say is when is the correct team going to come? Then I'll judge Unai. I want to see actual two centre-backs, good ones, an actual left-back, not Kolasinac. I'm sorry. I'm fully convinced now. This guy, do you know what? I don't like being rude about any players. He has got good attributes, and I'm not going to say that. And it did work in Germany, clearly, so there is something where it works. But this guy can't play in the Premier League, man. Unless he's in the best team, and they're only using him for attacking purposes. Then it could work, absolutely. But for you to be a left-back with defensive duties tied into your game, honestly, I cannot see, because I'm not saying he don't care. The worst thing is, I can see in the guy's energy and face, he really is trying. But it's not working. He ain't got defensive. He needs to. In Germany, you can actually have the luxury of being a defender, but only having to do that 15% of the league. So he really expressed and enjoyed attacking, and that's where he got his name, and we ended up with him. But honestly, the defensive duty, with a team like Arsenal now, every team that comes and plays us, they say, do you know what? Who's the weakest? Let's attack it. So it's not going to work. It's going to encourage people like Xhaka to slide in and make fouls. It's going to encourage people like Kolasinac to bomb forward because the crowd's screaming him to, and we do need to score. But ultimately, what's going to happen?
And leave gaping holes in the midfield. I mean, if you're putting, say, for instance, Torreira and a Xhaka and telling them to just sit and that's all that they do, I'm sure you'd see a much better side, Realist. But not when Kolasinac is like bombing down and one long ball over the top or through ball through the middle, and basically with a pacey winger of like, say, for instance, for example, Man City, right? You got like a Leroy Sané or De Bruyne. They are absolutely ripping not our natural right back, like you say, as we all know, Ainsley Maitland apart. And they're ripping Kolasinac also. And in the midfield, there's gaps as well. So it all adds up to complete disaster. I mean,
I think one of the little conundrums going on in Unai Emery's dossier, as people put it, at the moment is, all right, let's get Xhaka and Torreira to just sit there and defend. That's what I would want to do, and I probably would by just being absolutely scared. That's what I'll be doing, and I'll be going home and sleep every night thinking, do you know what? I'm not doing what I want. But the reason why he's not doing that is because imagine now if Willock and Saka was 2 years further in experience and could connect and attack and assist properly, I think he would have more confidence to make that choice. But right now, sitting back in front of the defence, it will invite so much pressure. I don't think we can handle it. So it's a balance between getting them to sit there in the front, but now maybe he's getting more confidence in the Ceballos, Willock, and Xhaka to be them outlets. So maybe we're going to see a bit more of that. And London Old School says that was Emre's get out of jail card. Well, boy, I don't look at it as that. In my eyes, that was the Cronkies get out of a bloody protest and crazy protest card, because I don't blame Unai Emery for it, because I can't see. Listen, when Pep went to City, how many times did he replace the goalie? How many times did he replace the right back? So right there alone, he would have come to Arsenal. He would have tried to replace the goalie twice, try to replace the right back twice. He would have got onto his third player and run out of money. He would have had to leave. Nothing would have happened. So same with Liverpool. Everyone says the Coutinho money, this money, that money. Listen, they've spent over 200 and whatever million now. It's become a long. So obviously, Gundit News just looked like he lost his connection. But I'm sure he'll pop back.
He'll be back.
But yeah, ultimately, we've got a long way to go. Another window for a club. Another club has a transfer window. They will improve. Arsenal needs 2.5 windows to compete with another team's 1 window. So ultimately, we are going to be always a little bit behind. Believe it or not, we're actually ahead progress-wise and points-wise than we're meant to be. Technically, right now, all jokes aside, we should be like 10th. I'm telling you, bro. Because think about it. Aubameyang and Lacazette now, we're lucky that, all right, Lacaz's got injured. We're not lucky there. But for him not to be, they've been fit for so long. They've been getting us goals for so long. So combining their goals together, 50 goals last season or more, or whatever it was, that's how much goals Ronaldo or Messi score. So let's take Lacazette and Aubameyang out and put Messi in. The same amount of goals would be there, 55.
Yeah.
But the same goals would be conceded, 50. So actually, Arsenal would even let Cristiano Ronaldo down and Messi down defensively, yeah? So there's such a bigger problem there on the numbers, and that's the point. As fans, I think we all accept that we know a lot about football because we watch it, but it's like anything. You can imagine how a carpenter does his job, but you know there's a lot we don't know. Same with football. There's a lot we know, but I think the bits we don't know comes down to the black and white, the stats, the looking into real performance and progress. How much muscle mass did you have last week? How much muscle mass have you got today? How much water weight have you got? What's your lung capacity saying? Have you been using your oxygen tank? Like all these little things we don't know about, and these contribute to a manager's overall selection. And hopefully we can get better players in, because then Unai Emery can really start performing his plan. But right now, it's nothing more than giving a general critique and a rating for each player and maybe a manager. You can say Unai Emery 4 or 5, but I don't think it's even fair to declare out or in. Just the same way I don't think it's fair to do it to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at Man United at the moment, because give a man a chance. If you want someone to win something in one window, go to a different sport. tennis or something. This is football. It's going to City. It took a long, long time. So same with us. We that's why I'm angry with the Cronkies. Unai Emery didn't drop us from grace. Wenger didn't drop us from grace. They took over a club that was held in high prestige. Brilliant. Couldn't even imagine Arsenal losing 2 games in a row, let alone conceding 3 goals in 1 game. Only if we played Barcelona, and even that wouldn't happen. They've allowed it on their watch for us to turn into a team that, when we're playing Villa, we don't believe we could win while it's happening. They've allowed that. Wenger managed us with Shamak, Bentner, Djurud, Arshavin. So many players kept us at such a high, brilliant level. Like, it's almost amazing. And so that's why I say we're lucky to be where we are now, because our downfall should have come years ago, bro. Years ago. But luckily, we managed to always do it. Do you know what I mean? And now we're in a whole new era of, is it the manager, or is it the players, or is it the owner? It's a combination of all, but ultimately improvement lies with the manager. Don't forget, each window, all these other teams are improving around us majorly. United just got Maguire, Wan-Bissaka, and Daniel James. That's a solid back line they've got now. People are improving majorly while we are sitting around.
Yeah, but I was saying to Gun the News, this league is about scoring goals, and you spend 130 million on Wan-Bissaka and Maguire. United are still losing games. You know? We're losing mics here. But the other thing, yeah, I can hear you. The other thing I wanted to say was to London Old School's point of Emery's get out of jail card. Gun the News, you with us? So to London Old School's point of Emery's get out of jail card, and we talked about this in the pregame show, Gun the News. We'll just wait a moment for the Realist to come back in. Hey, Realist.
Yeah, sorry about that. I saw in the chat box, it said there's a comment, so I read it, and it was Gundit News saying he's gone, and then the screen went, so technically that was Gundit News' fault.
I blame him for everything around here. You can blame your co-host, you know that.
Do you know what I was going to say to you, brother? It's 27 minutes now. My battery's low, so I'm going to stay with you up until 35 minutes. So we've got about another 7 minutes, but I'll be happy to come on whenever you invite me in the future.
We'll do it again. We'll do it again. I have a question for you. We already talked about Kolasinac. And to London Old School's point here, was that Emery's get out of jail card, in the sense that we're going to get fullbacks back and we can expect performances to improve. So this could be a result that we look back on, Realist, as a watershed in our season.
Absolutely, because let's face it, right now in our midfield, every time we do formation combinations, Xhaka, Torreira, Ceballos, drop Saka, we can't even take into consideration Kolasinac and Ainsley Maitland-Niles getting involved, because they're not doing the job correctly. So when we actually got Tierney there and we got Bellerin back, which I cannot wait for Bellerin and Holding, can you imagine what our midfield is going to be like then? Now Ceballos has got outlet options. Now Bellerin's running down the ring. Now Pepe's in front. The whole game. Listen, now the opposition goes from being confident and hyped and gassed to being shook and scared. Yeah, and when that happened, that's when my channel is going to go through the roof. Because I tell you what, all the Emre out people, I know what's coming. I'm just hoping that circumstances and bad luck doesn't fit. Like I say, I just hope today. And bad luck doesn't jinx it. I'm just praying that they all come back fit and we actually get at least 20 games with them all fit, yeah? Because if that happens, whoa, you're going to see. I know what's going to happen because I've studied Unai Emery from his birth to Arsenal. And the guy is fucking brilliant. The guy, I'm not saying he's a Pep or this or that. What the guy is a man who can actually make people better, make a team brilliant, but he has it in his way. He's had so many promotions in his career, more than Pep Guardiola. Yeah. I don't think Pep's had one promotion because every team he's took over has won the league the year before or something.
Yeah, and he's been able to spend as well. Pep has been able to spend wherever he went.
Exactly.
And I know that you know this already, but he did beat a Klopp team in the Europa League with Sevilla.
Yeah, of course. Of course. No one talks about that. No one talks about Napoli just slapped Liverpool We beat Napoli.
We
That
beat
was when
Napoli.
we had a half decent team. We was putting 22 beaten runs together. Like when Unai Emery had the job that he signed up for, it was going well. But then Welbeck got injured, Bellerin got injured, Holding got injured. Actually, also Lukaku in one match fouled Socrates. He came off, and then he stamped on Koscielny on his ear in the FA Cup, and we lost that match 2-1. So in one match, Socrates and Koscielny got injured. Like he picked up so many injuries in the short amount, not on top of losing the likes of Ramsey and all these players. So much. Unai Emery's definitely got the hardest job in the top six. Easily.
Here's a question from Cannon Fodder TV. If Unai Emery wins the trophy but does not secure Champions League, is it a disastrous season?
Honestly, I would possibly say no, because my reason for that is first I need to see how if people come back from injury, then get injured straight again, and we've got half a team, we're definitely not going to get top four, probably. So that's already written on the wall. So I wouldn't blame him for that. Secondly, I think it's more about getting to the next hurdle and the next milestone and the next transfer window. So let's let Unai Emery go full throttle, full pace, and then we'll judge him. And then if he's not up for the job once he's got 4 competent defenders, 3 or 4 competent midfielders, and all of them gelling, then I'll judge it as well myself. But until then, I don't think it's fair, because if we get another manager in now, let's say, and then he gets 200 million to spend, ain't that a bit out of order? Why does Unai Emery's reputation get tarnished? No money, 70 million, 40 million, and then a new manager comes in and gets to milk it of 200. It's not fair. That's not fair. Unai Emery needs to go, and I'm not saying he needs to go because of blindness. I'm telling you, the man's earned it. His granddad and dad played for a team. His granddad played for the oldest team in Spain. He then went and he bounced around from Almeria. He got them promoted. He went from a player to a manager. Deportivo got them promoted. He bounced around from team to team. Laganas got them promoted. Went to Valencia, turned them into a top Champions League team. Replaced Ronald Koeman there, may I add. Then went to Sevilla, as we know what happened. 3 in a row. Went to PSG, 5 trophies in. We cannot let Arsenal be the one who gives him the bad name, because that will show more about Arsenal, not Unai Emery.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like, I know what's going on, and I've got faith in the guy, and I've got faith in the team as well. We've got a lot of mistakes in us, but see, a team like Arsenal right now, it's a kind of team where if you've got a little mistake in you or a bit of aggression, or you want to be it's going to bring it out. So players like Xhaka, you're going to get exposed. Mustafi exposed. David Luiz, Socrates exposed, because our team is the team that says this. Our slogan right now is this: look, we're shaky at the back. Come and give it to us. So it's going to be hard to carry on.
Or let us gift wrap you some sort of few goals, you know. It's ridiculous. But let's have faith in our team right now, you know. We do, like Realist, you made very beautiful points, I must say, a very honest opinion, that we look shaky to everybody, absolutely any team, small team, big team, top 4, bottom 4. But I have faith in Emery that he will turn this around. He does have it in him, you know.
I know we've only got you for a couple more minutes, Realist, and thanks for coming on. You are a fan, just like all the rest of us. That's why you're here.
Yeah, no, as you know, I'm subbed up to your channel, bro, and I know you always tell people to subscribe to mine, so that's why I don't even bother saying nothing like that. I know you do your job well, brother, so respect. And I subbed up to you early, as you know.
Thank you. Do you have hope for January that we can get what we need to do in the transfer window in January?
Well, one thing I will say is I never have hope in the transfer window, because I know what these gentlemen are like, should I say. But I tell you what I do expect. Bruv, that 35 million that we sold Iwobi for, that's minimum what our budget starts at. And that's how sad it is at Arsenal fan. Can you imagine? I'm banking on 35 million. How sad is it? Can I say this as well? One more point. I'd like to leave it on a nice little dirty bombshell for you lads, yeah? All right, we need Champions League so badly. That's what Unai Emery relies on for his success. All right, then we accept that. Money comes from the Champions League. You've brainwashed us. We believe it. Fine. So why, when we qualified 22 years in a row, yeah? For 7 years, we couldn't get Benzema. If we bought Karim Benzema, we would have won the league. So 22 years of Champions League, we still didn't have the money. But now they're trying to say you need Champions League. How about you give us one of the 22 years we fucking banked 20 years ago? The reason why you got about £6 billion in your bank, yeah? But no, the whole point is There's only
That's
one way you
actually
become a billionaire, and it's by
fantastic,
being
yeah.
really smart. That's one thing I rate the Cronkies about. They're fucking smart because they know how to confuse big crowds of people. Politicians, billionaires, oil merchants. These people know how to confuse big crowds of people.
Oh, fantastic.
You like that bombshell? I told you, innit? You heard the silence after that.
Wasn't Arsene
Anyway,
Wenger a little tight?
well, Arsene Wenger now, yeah, like my favourite sentence to fans is this: if when Real Madrid offered him the job, he left, I don't think he would have took Walcott, Ramsey, and Shamak with him.
No.
That's I say. That's all I say.
Yeah.
Give Wenger the money, even still to this day. Go and put Wenger at Madrid now and give him some money, yeah? He'll probably smash the life out of every team that stands against him. Because he lets players play freely. So if you're saying to Wenger the team's bad, what you're saying is the players are bad. So if he's got brilliant players, he basically just says to them, go and kick that ball, bruv. With a little bit of information as well. Obviously, there's more to it than that. But he don't shout at players like, and look at Solskjaer when you look at him on the sideline. He looks like he's about to die, bruv. Like, bruv, at the end of the day, Wenger will let you play football. Wenger loves football. He loves winning, but he loves football more than winning.
Yeah.
And that becomes a little bit of a downfall. But ultimately, he lets you play free-flowing football. If this, like, for instance, you're never going to see players playing out of position with Wenger. It's very rare unless your natural position, like Oxlade-Chamberlain, yeah? I want to play in the middle, bruv. Since you've gone in the middle at Liverpool everywhere, bruv, you're not as good as you was. Like, Wenger knows your best position. Walcott, you was a winger. You want to go in the middle? Straight away you went in the middle, now you're shit. So the only reason Wenger will change your position, like Thierry Henry, what he did, is because he knows what's best for you. Otherwise, he lets you play your game. So Wenger's a good manager. It's just his combination with that kind of football at a club with no investment will never work. The closest manager now to Arsene Wenger is actually Pep Guardiola. Do you know that? Style-wise. How funny is that? The man who spends the money. But he's got to spend £1 billion to do it. £500 million. Wenger done it with a little French boy called Terry. Yeah?
Last question, Realist. What do you want to see for the United game in terms of team in midfield, let's say?
Should have been the game tonight to make a better judgment. But honestly, what happened the last time? Who was it that banged that goal in? Who was it? Oh, yeah, Xhaka. I think we're going to need a bit of steel in the middle because United, as shit as they are, when they play Arsenal, they turn into Barcelona every time. So
a lot of teams do.
I'm going to want Xhaka, Torreira on the pitch but also I've also seen Guendouzi bad up Pogba a couple times. I've seen it. I've seen Guendouzi have up Pogba before. But honestly, without picking this team, I don't want to. I'm going to say one, but what I'm going to say to you is I'll definitely change my mind because I've got to have more thought process towards when the game comes. I'll give you one now, so I don't not give you what you want. But I'll say now, Kolasinac, David Luiz.
Tierney could be back. Tierney and Bellerin.
Well, if they're back, they're blatantly going to go in. But I'll say for now, I'll imagine that they're not there.
Right.
Kolasinac, David Luiz, Mustafi, Chambers. Then in front of them, I'm going to go for a bit of steel. So I'm going to put. Well, I'll give you my explanation in a minute. But I'm going to put Ceballos, Xhaka, Torreira. Then in front of them, I'm going to put just the one, Willock. In front of them, I'm going to put. I would say now definitely Aubameyang, but it's either going to be Pepe or Martinelli. I would say Martinelli first, and then bring Pepe on. So that would be my team, and the reason I go for it is Ceballos, Xhaka, and Torreira for the still, but Ceballos will be on the left. That still can at any point turn into a little bit of good Spanish football and get some assists and sexiness going. But in front of, if his little twists and turns and run doesn't work, Willock won't be too far off of him. That's why Willock will be in front. And he can then take that ball and he will have the choice of Martinelli or Aubameyang in front of him. Obviously, in theory, Kolasinac and Chambers will be running down the wing. But at the end of the day, the Big Bang was a theory as well. So,
Can I ask you one final question before you go?
Yep, of course you can, brother.
Tell me about your Arsenal life. What age did you get into Arsenal? When did you start? What game was it? What year was it? What inspired you to follow Arsenal?
When I was obviously there was a lot of all sorts of different fans around me. But I remember when I used to watch football, one thing that standing in my mind for the Arsenal before I picked the team, I always liked Newcastle because I was young and their kit. There was no other reason. The black and white stripes. And then Arsenal, I always realise when these guys are on the pitch, this pitch looks tiny. I said these other teams playing against Arsenal are struggling. It's like there's boys playing against men. So after watching this for a year or two, I said, you know what? If I wanted to ever be anyone, I want to be these big boys. I want to be these 11 men on this pitch in Highbury. This other team are suffocated. They can't. They got no space, and it stood out so much for me that I ended up having to support Arsenal because they were the best team, and obviously my dad and everyone supports them. But I genuinely, that's why I picked them because. Listen, when you got big players running around that pitch, looking at it like that, it was like you actually knew you can't win, bruv. Like the only way you're gonna win is you've had the game of your life. And another thing I want to say quickly, brother, sorry to cut you off because it come into my head. Everyone said we were so terrible against Watford, although I don't think we was. All it was is 2 defensive mistakes. Listen, Watford gave so much against us. They gave us their heart, their soul. They got pumped 8-0 the next match. That's how much they put in. They had nothing left. And a lot of teams do that against a club like Arsenal because there's a little bit of prestige there. So don't be surprised if Villa, in their next match, Villa lose 6-0. Do not be surprised. Do not be surprised because like you have to understand, it's different when you play a different team. Arsenal is the team people want to beat, even if we're not at the top. We're losing that prestige a little bit.
Oh yeah, yeah.
People hate it that we was in the top 4 with no investment, and we had Shamak, all this shit. They hated it that we were still. You couldn't fucking beat us. It was annoying. Do you know? You could beat us once or this or that, but ultimately we'd embarrass you at the end. Like so.
And Lord Bentner
are stressed out, and they want us to either fuck up. Or the other side of the people want Unai Emery, or the other side of the people actually want us to get back to the top.
What year was that at Highbury that you started following them? 96, 98?
No, I'm not an exact year, but when I would say I was a staunch, by the time I was a solid defender, supporter, I'll be honest, like solid where I had the top, and I'm telling you, I'm Arsenal, and I'd argue with you and this and that.
Played red.
I'd say by 92. That'll be me being honest. Like I was a very young little boy, but I was ready to argue. I knew what was going on.
Right.
I knew when I looked at that pitch that whether it's Man U, Liverpool, or Everton standing opposite us, these guys look like boys against giants. I knew who I wanted to come and defend me in the fight. Put it that way. Don't get me wrong, Man U lived up to the name. They bring their steel to the table, and yeah, I always like that. For me, there's a big rivalry with Tottenham. Don't get me wrong, I hate them. They're shit. But do you know what? I can never get rid of the truth. Like Man U is a big like taboo for me. Like even this game coming up, I'm already nervous. Like I need to win it. When I say need to win it, I mean like there's no question. Like not even a draw. A draw don't do for my soul. I need to win, even if it's a sucky.
We need to win away from home against one of these top 6 teams.
Pardon?
We need to win away from home against one of these top 6 teams.
And especially when it comes to United, I honestly don't even care about performance. I swear to you, United could hit the crossbar 110 times, and we score 1 own goal. I'm taking it. That's how bad it is when it comes to. I hate them, innit, as a club because they were so good. What?
Let me be frank with you. I'm sorry. I also don't mean to be rude by cutting you off, but my hatred goes also back like that because a lot of my family members and close friends, they've got big mouths. They've got big mouths. Always talking shit. Always. Every day it's. I'm like you guys just need to shut up, chill, and be quiet because you're losing to the likes of West Ham. You're losing to the likes of Crystal Palace, and your team is in absolute shambles as bad as we are. But it's always come from the fact that they're too loud. And a lot of Arsenal supporters,
and they spend 200 million every window. So
everybody's humble. Everybody relax. We all have our opinions, and controversial may it be, whatever the case may be. But at the same time, we are more of a family. You know, we're very humbled by everything that happens, taking games one step at a time, and obviously backing the boys, backing the manager, man.
All right, Realist, I know you got to go. I'll let you go.
Thank you very much, Arsenal Fan Circle. Thank you, Gundit News. And like I said, brother, in the future, we talk together. Thank you very much.
We'll have you back on. We'll have you back on in the cycle of guests. You know what I mean?
Brother, you have a good one. And like I said, see you soon, guys. Sayonara. Goodbye. I'll be back.
Auf Wiedersehen. Peace. So that was the Arsenal Realist. So listen, it got animated. It went helter skelter. So let's get into the comments here from our good viewers, our good subscribers. So
Our
um,
subscribers.
from Alex, what we see to, and I think the realist already admitted that um, Torreira is being asked to go ahead, to go forward, and his best position is in front of the back four. So we need to play Torreira in his best position, and that's what Unai Emery's got to do. And again, London Old School, thanks for your comment, London Old School. That was Emery's get out of jail card. I truly believe that we would have had a different podcast, not only in what we were going to say, but in terms of the comments in the comment section and trolls coming in here and gassing us. So
Ray,
we got
what
out
did
of
you
jail
think?
today.
What did you think of the night show? We'll get into comments from all our lovely subscribers and everything, but personally, I enjoyed the living daylights out of that. That was good stuff.
It was energetic. It was full on. And
Yeah, full.
have you seen, from Alex, have you seen an emergence of a potential captain in Matteo Guendouzi? The second game, the second home game we've seen where he's taken the game by the scruff of his neck. Don't forget, he played that ball for Aubameyang to equalize in the North London derby. Don't forget that.
It looks like he took full on responsibility and picking up the team spirits, our team spirits, and it worked. I mean, I love that.
So, yeah, obviously he's young yet and he needs to improve his game and get better. But Guendouzi could be a potential captain if we choose to keep him long enough. I really have a feeling that we're grooming this player to probably sell in a season or two. That's my personal point of view. London Old School, I think Guendouzi is a future captain material. He's getting better every game this season. And
Look, I
yes,
disagree.
agreed. He seems to be learning from mistakes. Now, he does have a mistake in him, such as that Watford game.
That's why I say it may be a little bit early to call Matteo Guendouzi captain right now, but eventually I think he could be a strong candidate for that position as captain.
Now, just let's recap. We've had some distance now. Recap your motions for this game.
Ray,
Take me
fantastic.
through all the steps, everything that happened. I haven't seen the game. I saw the
Okay,
highlights.
from where I started, 1-0 down. Ainsley Maitland, two yellow cards, which is a red card, and he got sent off. Starting the second half, just not a lot, quite a lot of attack. You know, a lot of passion being shown by most of the players that are on the pitch and players that were coming on. You know, the likes of Torreira. I mean, Guendouzi showing a little bit of responsibility. You know, picking up the team spirits. So we got that equalizer and managed straight after that to get a second goal, and eventually leading to the Aubameyang free kick, which I'm watching at the TV and I'm thinking to myself, oh Lord, there's so many free kick takers. David Luiz, for instance, nearly got himself a goal if it wasn't for a good save. And my heart is in my mouth thinking, right, this could be it. This is the be all and end all. I don't know if it's a strong position to shoot, but who is going to be the free kick taker? And Aubameyang beautifully bends it low, not high into the top ones,
Mm-hmm.
which
Yeah.
a lot of players will do.
Bends it
But
low. It's about shoulder height when it goes into the net, right in the corner.
right in the corner, and there were
And
scenes. I
I certainly,
celebrated with I
listen,
celebrated with niece and my nephew. And I mean, guys, it's a beautiful thing when you can even get them to love the things you love. I mean, who knows? For instance, that could be the next generation of gooners. I mean, when
yeah,
I'm an old,
yeah.
I've got massive gray hairs. I got a few, but when it's all gray and my beard is gray, and I'm like,
And
these guys are supporting me.
there's a few handful of results, handful of games in every season that gives you this kind of emotion. You're down in the dumps. So I gotta say, I walked away after about 70 minutes myself. Walked away. It was like, this is not gonna happen. losing the faith a little bit. Didn't look like maybe we're going to get a draw, but is a draw enough today? A draw is not enough today after the results we've had in the league. Unbeaten in 3 games, not winning in 3 games, and we needed to win today.
We needed a big win, big time, and that's like what we managed to do. The boys absolutely showed all their blood, sweat, and tears. Like I always say, which you all understand. I mean, who wouldn't want to play for our beautiful club and
Yeah.
help
Well,
rebuild?
people were questioning if the players want to play for the coach.
Well, the league showed in the last game, which, like I say, was by any means necessary. If you needed to go out there and get a red card so that somebody else can score, that you needed motivation, and that's what caused it, that's what has to happen. But I
So
personally didn't play it also. Like I told you earlier, let me let our subscribers also know that I had very big contemplation on coming on the show, whether or not to come on. I was actually just going to be part of the
you're the
chats.
co-host. You have to come on. You can't
No,
decide not to.
I know that. I know that you guys want me,
It's your
so I
job.
know that you
It's
guys
your
can
unpaid job.
is why we start. Yeah, it's my job. I mean, would I want to get fired? But the big but was seeing the whole result of the going away and not being able to see what's happening. Coming back to that, and I was like, at 2 goals down, I was like, yeah, guys, I don't think this is gonna happen. I don't know if tonight's show will have your co-host in it. But then, by some miracle, I said, you know what? Absolutely love coming on, speaking with our subscribers. My host and I do
Mhm.
what we do because we love Arsenal.
So
And
one,
I faith, I said maybe we'll pull back a goal, and the equalizer came, and then a penalty came, and my heart was in my throat. And sorry, the free kick came, and I was like, what is going to happen? This is literally the end of the game.
yeah,
Aubameyang's goal. Come on, Obama blood.
83. Was it 83 minutes?
In the 83rd minute. So I was like, we've got 10 minutes to score 2 goals. We got to equalize. I was like, okay, this is looking promising. Okay, like 10 goals, 10 minutes, 2 goals, 10 minutes, one
Yeah,
goal.
and we had the Chambers jab. A nice
Come
finish.
on, come on. My guy, Chambers.
Put him in the team
Seriously,
more. He's got to be in the team more.
gotta be in the team more.
He,
Seriously.
he might have his deficiencies, but you can't tell me he's worse than Socrates or David Luiz at this point.
Personally, we're looking not with him, they rather, or now that I can't wait till, like I said, Tierney, and it's a
Well,
big game. Enter
let's
FC versus Arsenal at
let's
old Old Trafford. It's about to get very chilly, and I'm like quietly confident. I personally, it would be massive.
I'm
I could
quietly
just
confident too.
guys,
Let's let's um let's go
close up.
through the team. Let's go through the likely team at Manchester United.
Okay,
Bird Leto, of course, in goals. Nothing wrong there. Let's bring our
nothing.
fullbacks back. Bellerin and Tierney. By that time, Tierney has probably played in against Nottingham Forest in the Carabao Cup, possibly um, played again
He
in
played
another under 23 team. So he could be back
under
fit,
20.
ready to
They
start.
played
Tierney and Bellerin.
Bellerin and Tierney.
Who's when Holding should be back pretty soon? What's our best two central defenders?
Louis and Rob Holding.
Not Chambers and Holding.
Oh, excuse me. I didn't realize that. Chambers and Holding. Young CBs, hopefully you're like that. I would love that. So Chambers and Holding, yeah.
Yeah, because Socrates and Luis have basically. I would probably persist with David Luiz a little bit, but Socrates has shown me some ridiculous things in the last few games, and trying to rugby tackle a player today and trying to get him sent off as well.
I saw that he ended up breaking the guy's legs or something.
Yeah,
And I was like,
yeah. Let's
What are
get
you
into
doing?
the midfield.
Just give
Let's
it
get
up.
into the midfield. Torreira's got to start. Torreira's got to be in midfield. I would play him
Torreira,
with. Who would you play him with? Guendouzi
yeah.
and Ceballos,
Yep.
and then Lacazette is going to be out. So who would you pick on the left? Was Aubameyang going to play up front with Pepe?
Let's do Saka again. Let's put Saka in again.
Yeah, give him a run of games. I didn't think he played very badly today. I think he did okay. So
Ray, personally, who
we
would
have
you
Luca
choose?
in the chat. He thinks again Man United will beat us. Not going to happen,
Luca,
Luca.
I'm not. I don't mean to offend Luca by any means. I'm just saying Luca almost seems to be our version of a troll. Like, he,
A friendly Claude troll, right?
you,
I'm pessimistic.
because he says one. He always says this team will beat us now, and then maybe he'll come into a pre-game show, as a comment, and he'll say to us, how would I say? Then he'll say, "Oh yeah, no, we will beat them 3-0 or 2-1 with
We
so and so score."
respect the opinion. We just believe that we're a better team than Manchester United.
Oh, of course, yeah, man. Band AFC, they got nothing on us. We're gonna go to
So
Coltrane, make it
Luca
snow.
says if we defend like that, United will bully us. Pogba, Martial are back next week.
Are those
He's
real
got.
threats?
I mean, we have to play better.
Yes, we have to play better. But my point is also, I'm not like I really don't feel threatened by like Martial and Pogba and Rashford, and I
No,
don't feel threatened. Like we
and
shouldn't go into this game.
hopefully the coach is becoming less scared of things. Emery seems to be picking cautious lineups, but he did go for Saka. He did play Saka today, which shows me he's willing maybe to open things up and be a bit more adventurous.
Yeah, but so we've uh, we'll give our score prediction probably in the next pre-game for those
Well, look, he's
guys.
asking, do you think that penalty will help his confidence, even only if it was a penalty?
Should really
Yeah.
honestly any goal should help. Whether you
Any
get it,
goal will get you off the mark, Luca, and I think that that's going to happen. I think we both, although we have been predicting the last 2 weeks that Aubameyang and Pepe would get goals, and that happened today. Pepe's off the mark.
yeah. I mean, like I'm saying, Luca, I'm sure Luca would see this also, London old school, everybody. I would love to hear their thoughts, but we've seen it happen before. We've seen Lacazette give Aubameyang Lacazette give over when he was short of confidence. And it's got a domino effect or a butterfly effect, if you call it, because you score a goal, next week you might score a goal, the following week you might score a goal. So all these things add up. It might be like almost a form thing where you don't have any confidence. Your homie gives you your brother in the team, another striker or midfielder or whatever, wins a chance for you to get a penalty. You get the penalty, you take it, you score. Maybe next week you score two. Maybe you provide two assists. Maybe you provide one assist and one goal.
Yeah.
And it adds up and it adds up and it spirals to a point where, like, for example, for like Aubameyang he's now like just scoring. He's every game is one goal, two goal assist. He's and his
Um,
performance is like
so London Old School says crazy game. We showed lots of fight in the second half. That's the kind of thing we need to do. We did show fight, and but we also need to play certain players. They need to start and need to start in their preferred positions, like Torreira especially. Um, we get Torreira in midfield where he needs to play as that DM. We bring our fullbacks in, and Rob Holding will help out as well. I think we're getting to where we need to get then. You know,
I can't
there's
wait to see
reason for hope in the next few weeks.
I can't wait to see Tierney and Bellerin back in the side. How many games have we got until the Man United game? Was it two or is it one?
Uh, I think it's next weekend. So we have a Carabao Cup game,
Yeah.
and then we
So
play, and then we play Manchester United. next
Okay,
Sunday,
so
next Monday.
maybe
So
let's
we're gonna
warm
have a
up.
pre-game show next week.
Yeah, so maybe let the guys warm up of Nottingham game. Tierney, Bellerin, and
Say hi to
like I said,
Jenkinson.
Chambers and Rob Holding hopefully in centre back. I mean, that back line I would be happy with. Like surely, Rob Holding's a ball carrier from the back, which we do know. Which
Yeah,
I mean,
which
we've
we
literally
need.
bought him for skill and proper right back, proper left back. Callum Chambers, Rob Holding. Seriously, guys, seriously. If we see that versus Nottingham Forest, sorry, Nottingham Forest, and Jenkins is actually coming back, so that's quite interesting.
Yeah, but to the realist point, we need to be careful as well because
I'm not
we
saying
can't use up our players too easily and wear them down till where we have in the end of the season. Another problem like we had in April or May. But
yeah.
here's a comment from Alex. Alex, I think you're gloating a little bit because you did in fact predict a 3-2 win. Alex gets maximum points today. He's earned some points individually and for his team. So big up to Alex. He predicted a 3-2 win for Arsenal. That looks like a begrudging well done, Gundit.
No, it's an honest well done. I'm just like, geez, who would have predicted 2? I mean,
Who would have predicted a
certainly
crazy game?
a crazy game, exactly.
Well,
Crazy game, goal for goal,
well,
which
listen,
is
I'm so thankful we got a 3 points to go
on
on.
that.
This was a crazy game. Um, after 70 minutes, we were all thinking, what's the backlash going to be? We're going to be languishing around 10th or 12th position, and the knives will be out for Mr. Unai Emery at that point. He has staved off all of that criticism for now, and it's all going to stay in within the Gooner Nation. If the media had seen, um, if the media had got their hands on a defeat by Arsenal or dropping more points, I don't even want to think about what have happened.
To all of us, work tomorrow would
I'm not
be
even thinking about work right now.
unbearable. I
I'm
mean,
thinking about
unbearable.
closing up this show in a couple of minutes. It's getting
Don't tell
late
me.
for you though, but
Don't
listen,
tell
this
me.
is a watershed. This is a watershed result. Our emotions went up. First of all, our emotions went down, and then our emotions goes through the roof. Um, the repercussions were we could have been down in mid-table with the knives coming out from the media, even though that same media cuts Tottenham the slack that we don't get every week, you know. But we're in fourth place. We've won the game. We're a few points off of City. We're 2 points behind them. We're three. We checked before we went on. We're 3 points ahead of Manchester United, Banter FC, and Almost FC. We're going to start calling Tottenham Almost FC. So on this channel, we're going to, from now on, everybody needs to call them Almost FC
Everybody,
because we're going to know
all of
what
our
we're talking
subscribers,
about.
Band FC, almost
Banter
15.
FC
Let's give it
and
to them.
Almost
Let's give it to
FC.
them.
You know.
They give it to us every year, and now it's our time. So these guys need to do the more of this and more sitting down.
So maybe in a few months from now, we can look at this. We look back at this result as a positive result. We definitely checked our heart rate during that game, but we move on, onwards and upwards to Manchester United.
Yep, to Band FC. I hope you give it to them. I know it's a family show, so yeah, let's just
Hey,
keep it up.
next week we're going to try and get 3 or 4 guests on. We'll have a Brady Show type of format where we'll all be pointed at each other, and there'll be lots of back and forth going on. But I hope everybody has enjoyed today's show. Let's all breathe a collective sigh of relief. Thanks to our talisman, who is Obama Blood Clot Yang. Um,
Papa blood clot gang, rude boy.
we all know that there's some bad apples in our squad, but we have to look at the world class players that we do have. We have so happy to get Pepe in the door. We've got Pepe who's going to start scoring goals now. I think he's just going to start going now. And Aubameyang has been scoring goals all through the season. So long may it
Same.
continue. And please, if our defenders could just tighten up just a little bit, we don't want to be conceding 60 goals, but we're on course for 60 goals this season if we don't tighten things up. So I'm trying to predict some clean sheets in the future. Be
Cold
welcome, right?
Trafford. Yeah, you're welcome. Cold Trafford.
Old Trafford
Let's
clean sheet. Let's go.
come on.
Let's
Let's
carry
go.
this forward. Say hi to Jenkinson. Bellerin and Tierney say hi to Carl Jenkinson on the weekend. We'll be playing that in Forest in the Carabao Cup. Hopefully, we progress there. And we go on. We'll talk next weekend. Got the news.
Yeah, bro.
It's been a shorter show, but we don't need to go into any more depth than what we've done already.
Come on. We had our entertainment. We had the realist on. You got me and you on the ones and twos if we were DJs, but
And
remixing
that's
every
the
single
thing. We're
verse.
gonna we're gonna have more and more. The realist is an Arsenal fan first and foremost. He wears a disguise, but there's an Arsenal fan there. So this is
Yeah, of
what we
course.
do. This is what we do. When we started this channel, it's called Arsenal Fan Circle for a reason. We include everybody, and that's it. If you're an Arsenal fan, you're in. Until
I just
next
like
week, say one thing, and then we're out.
Ray, I'd just like to thank everybody for joining me live, not live, all the comments, all our subscribers, all our special guests. But shout out to the realist subscribe team as well. And come on, you gooners. I mean, have a lovely week, guys. Have a nice.
Yeah, let's take this 3-2 win. We won. We won. We got
Come
3 points. We haven't been able to say that since the Burnley game.
Oh, long time coming.
It's all good. 3 points and fourth place. Let's go. We are out of here.
Buddy, come on.
Until next
Right.
weekend, join us then.